Welcome to my home. Please grab some tea. Today we are going to be watching the first 2 episodes of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I've been so engrossed in the Vampire Lestat because I love it so much, but take a breath and make some tea. Today we have a Baozhong tea from Taiwan. And we're gonna watch my favorite show about processing and working through trauma. Especially, I'm living in Japan for another month, so we're gonna drink some tea, we're gonna eat some dango, we're going to take a breath, have a nice morning. You know, I think Avatar does a really wonderful job of establishing that safe space. And so when they do start going into, you know, the darker themes and the more mature themes, there is a sense of trust and a sense of safety around it as they kind of guide you through it. In my head, this is a very logical next step.
Why is it that every time you play with magic water, I get soaked?
My friends, when I watch an episode of television and then make it all of their problems by talking about it nonstop for the next 2 months.
Leave it to a girl to screw things up.
Oh, the Sokka sexism arc.
You are the most sexist.
I love that this show allows Katara to show her rage and to have rage. Katara becomes a very maternal presence throughout the show. And I love that it doesn't negate her own rage. And I love that the show doesn't make her choose, especially living in Japan right now, where there is such an expectation, especially on women, on everyone, but especially on women, to not have big emotions. And like in America, we have very big emotions and we display those emotions all the time. Since I've moved to Japan, Katara has become a much more powerful character to me.
From now on, you're on your own.
Like, it is Katara's rage that opens the iceberg, which leads to Aang coming back, which leads to the world being saved. It all starts with that female rage and Katara's righteous anger at the world, and that she hasn't let that go. Because you need hope to have rage. Because if you have no hope, then you will accept the world around you. But if you believe that things can be better, then you can be angry and rageful at the way that they are. And I think that showing those two in concert with each other is so powerful.
Finally.
It's my boy. It's my boy.
Appa!
Back in America, I had an Appa stuffy, and I had it hanging near the window by my bed, so it was flying.
Well, no one has seen an airbender in 100 years. We thought they were extinct.
They really said, we're gonna make a kids show about genocide. And it's amazing. The existence of this show is incredible. Not based on anything, not adapting an existing property, an original kids show.
What war? What are you talking about?
You're kidding, right?
Penguin!
He's kidding, right?
And even here, there's such a balance of the intrusion of trauma on childhood and the fact that Aang and Katara are both not allowed to have that childhood. Aang being the personification of childhood interrupted. I guess what I'm trying to say is, as much as Aang is a character, and he is the main character and he does have his arc, he is the personification of lost childhood, the personification of the childhood that Katara didn't get to have because of the war. And I think that that's, there's a lot of discourse about who Katara ends up with. And I also think it's weird that she ends up marrying, the kid that she babysat. I think that that's weird. They have more of a sibling relationship for me. But in the context of being able to reconnect with that inner child and that, part of you that that was lost because of trauma, there is something really beautiful about that whole being reunited. If you look at Aang as a, you know, as the personification of that lost childhood that is epitomized through Katara. Look at this teapot. Isn't it beautiful? It's from Taiwan.
Water. Earth.
I love this show so much. Oh my gosh.
Now we could all be in danger.
Don't blame Katara. I brought her there.
The way that gender is established in this show is also very quietly devastating. The fact that Katara, the younger sibling, is expected to carry the emotional labor of her and her brother's lost childhood because she is the girl, because she is, you know, a woman. Like, that is quietly devastating. And not saying that it was, you know, an expectation on her from her family, but just an expectation on her from herself, because that's what is expected of women and of girls.
Katara, you knew going on that ship was forbidden. Sokka is right.
Dang, look at the, like, look at the little girls in the back just mugging her. They're like...
Katara, I don't want to come between you and your family.
This show gets better the older I get. The older I get, the more that I rewatch it, the better and better it gets. And that it can do all of this without losing its levity and without losing its, you know, joyfulness. That it's a, I mean, it goes to dark places, but it is a joyful show. Can I introduce you guys to someone? This is my Dodo. She's named that because when I was like 1 or 2, I was trying to say doggy, but it came out like da, 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 and it just stuck. And she's actually trans femme because when I was like 2 years old or 3 years old, Dodo went by he, him pronouns. And then when I was 4, I was like, no, mommy, Dodo is a girl. And so Dodo is actually a trans femme icon, and she has lived in 4 countries now with me. She has traveled to many more than that, and so she is a world traveler. Seeing Aang cuddle with Appa, I was like, oh, I want a little pet to cuddle with, so I went to go get a stuffed animal because I don't have pets because I'm living in Japan, and you know I wouldn't be able to bring them back to America with me. So no pets, just stuffed animals. But
You're just a child.
Well, you're just a teenager.
that Aang doesn't even know Zuko. He doesn't know him. He doesn't know what he's done, but he just sees the person there. Ugh. The characters in this show, while being so flawed, are still so aspirational. To be able to see the personhood of someone who is actively doing harm and immediately just seeing them as a human. Ugh.
Are you gonna talk all day, or are you coming with me?
Sokka!
I love when Sokka's in older brother mode. I love it so much. Katara deserves to have a good older brother. I am glad that they have him work through his sexism early in the show because she deserves to have an older brother. After everything that she's gone through, she deserves to have, you know, her brother there looking out for her.
He's flying! He's flying! Katara, he's... I mean, big deal, he's flying.
You know, Katara still lives in this hope and this belief that, like, it will be okay. And she'll find a way, you know, that things can improve, that things can get better, that things don't have to be this way, and they shouldn't be this way. And Sokka, there's such a tragedy in him going, well, things are this way, and I'm going to, you know, rise to the occasion. And you see when he says, yip, yip, and he's like, he's flying. Like, you see that moment that, you know, Sokka's excitement and hope and belief in the world, you know, starts to kind of come back. And I think that we overlook We overlook the way that Sokka processes the trauma that he's been going through because it's less visible, because he avoids it, you know, he avoids it, he doesn't try to dwell on the past, he tries to look forward and look at the things that, you know, he's like, well, this is the situation that I find myself in, so what am I going to do? And we see that action and we see that avoidance, you know, having that sense of responsibility of filling that role that his father left behind. And the way that these characters' trauma responses rub up against each other. That Sokka wants to be a protector. You know, the way that his sexism is like a misguided way of trying to assert agency in a world where his agency has been stripped away, and to try to protect his younger sister. But in trying to protect her, he causes more harm. And this is a kids' show. Because it does come from a place of love, minimizing his sister for being a woman as a way of trying to protect her from the responsibility that she's had to take on.
Why didn't you tell us you were the Avatar? Because I never wanted to be.
And the cloud passing overhead, the cloud passing overhead, the literal shadow, the shadow of his destiny passing over them for one moment. And then they're allowed to like be kids again. Oh, I've never noticed that before. And like, people clown on season 1, but it's so important because you have to establish that safe space first. You have to, you know, develop that trust that it's a, you know, that they will see you to the other side. I have one more episode in me, I think. Because it's the third episode that really, I think, gets the series going. You know, I think like the first 2 episodes, you're like, oh, fun kids show, cute. And then the third episode hits you and you're like, oh, genocide. That's fun. And I am emotionally wounded from the vampire Lestat, so I need Katara to tell me that it will all be okay. Open on the rising sun. Literally the hope coming back into the world. I'm literally just gonna be hand-hearting this entire time. It's so good. It's so perfect. I love it so much. Look, I need some things in my life that are just good and fun and happy and wonderful. So this is that for me. It makes me believe. It makes me have hope.
Aang, I know you're excited, but it's been 100 years since you've been home. That's why I'm so excited. It's just that a lot can...
Me watching the vampire Lestat.
Do you have any ginseng tea? It's my favorite.
I had some ginseng tea on my table, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna put it out. I'm just gonna put it there. I was like, you know what? It's on theme.
I just want you to be prepared for what you might see.
People trying to warn me about the vampire Lestat episode.
Just because no one has seen an airbender doesn't mean the Fire Nation killed them all.
Me burying my head in the sand and going, no, it'll be great. It'll be great! It won't traumatize me in the slightest.
Avatar going. My fault entirely.
I love his smug face as he backs away slowly. He's like, I knew what I did. The fact that Zuko has to mask his entire life, he has to always have that mask up for his own safety. Like, he's a 16-year-old boy. I think Zuko's 16, Sokka is 15, Azula is 14, Katara is 13, Aang is 12. Right?
So where do I get something to eat?
You're lucky enough to be one of the first outsiders to ever visit an airbender temple, and all you can think about is food?
Look, if Sokka doesn't eat, he dies. If you don't eat, you die. You gotta eat.
This place used to be full of monks and lemurs and bison. Now there's just a bunch of weeds. I can't believe how much things have changed.
Someone mentioned for the first time to me, I had never considered this before, that the over-reliance of nostalgia in our current media landscape is a response to cultural decline, because you cannot envision a future, you cannot envision the way that things could get better. The only possibility of happiness that you can come to is in the past. I'd never thought about that before.
The true secret is in the gooey center. Is it?
Does anyone have a recipe for those cakes that Monkiazzo makes? If anyone has a recipe for those cakes, please leave them in the comments for me, because those look delicious.
They're avatars. All these people are your past lives, Aang.
And even in this show where Aang literally has access to all of his past lives, they so rarely go into the past and have actual like flashbacks into the past, because the past in this show is only as useful as it can inform the future. There's so much hope in that.
Prince Zuko, have you forgotten what happened last time you dueled the Master?
I will never forget.
Like, the character that looks back is Zuko, and it's a misguided impulse. The answer isn't behind him, it's in front of him. That looking back and trying to recreate a perceived past happiness and past joy is ultimately misguided. And he has to let that go, and he has to learn to let that go the hard way by chasing it and making those mistakes. And in trying to undo the past and recreate a past time, he causes harm to innocent people around him. That's so mature. That's such a real take.
Oh, man. Come on, Aang. Everything will be alright. Let's get out of here.
This show also got me into martial arts. I did Taekwondo for a minute. I got up to a green belt, which is, I know is like the second lowest one, but you know, I'm not very athletic. I'm not very sporty, but it was amazing. Oh my gosh. I would love to get back into martial arts at some point because it was so powerful. That was the other thing that really, really helped me work through my trauma, was just physically feeling it in my body and being able to like physically work through it. And I love that in a show about processing trauma, martial arts is literally how they display the like magic system, that it's in their bodies and you have to work through your body and what is stored in your body. That's where your power is.
And I know how hard it is to lose the people you love. I went through the same thing when I lost my mom.
Katara and I aren't gonna let anything happen to you. Promise.
How is Roku supposed to help me if I can't talk to him?
Maybe you'll find a way.
I really thought, when I first watched this show, I really thought that Momo was Avatar Roku. It was my first theory when I was first watching the show. I was like, no, Momo is Avatar Roku. Amazing. That the past informs who you are, but you can't dwell in it. You know, they have to move forward. They have to move forward, even though he experienced this trauma. He still has to move forward. Oh, I love this show so much. Ah! Thank you guys so much for indulging me. I hope that you enjoyed watching or rewatching Avatar: The Last Airbender, these first 3 episodes with me. I would like to continue through Avatar: The Last Airbender. I think it would be a very healthy companion piece to the Vampire Lestat, which all of the videos on my channel have been about so far. If you enjoyed this video and you would like to join me on my rewatch of Avatar: The Last Airbender, then please hit the subscribe button. I think that I will probably go through this show pretty quickly because it's a nice show to like put on in the morning while I'm making myself tea. And if you would like to see my reaction to the Vampire Lestat to better understand why I am so emotionally distressed and need to come back to Avatar in order to self-soothe, please consider checking out my Vampire Lestat reactions. They are, I think, delightful. I think that they're fun. And you can watch my mental state deteriorate in real time. It's amazing. Oh, it builds me up just to break me down. I'm also planning on doing a House of the Dragon reaction. That's another reason why I was like, okay, I need to do a video on Avatar, because if I'm watching The Vampire Lestat and House of the Dragon, I need something with a little bit of hope, a little bit of lightness, a little bit of like belief that things can get better. So if any of those interest you, please consider subscribing to my channel. And I think that's all I got for you. I will see you on the next one. Bye.